Now, in thermodynamics, we know that energy cannot be created or destroyed. And so, if the electron possesses energy before it transfers, and then it transfers and no longer possesses that energy, what happens to that energy? If we cannot create or destroy energy, that means that energy must have been released or transferred to its surroundings. In the case of redox signaling molecules in the cell, if this molecule has been absorbed by the cell, that electron transfers, that energy is released and donated to the cell. This is the concept that we use to manufacture our redox signaling molecules. We start with a low energy sodium chloride, ultra pure sodium chloride. We dissolve that in an ultra pure water to create a low energy saline. Now, much like your cell phone requires battery or electrical energy to send a signal, your cells need energy in order to signal and communicate. This is central to maintaining your health and wellness. This is central to life as we know it on this planet. But we see on the graph here that when we have sodium chloride or salt dissolved in water, we have a compound that is really low in its energy. We know we need energy in order to create cell signaling. So we use our proprietary and patented process to put energy back into the system. We push the ball back up the hill, so to speak, not to the same hill of sodium chloride, but to the hill of signaling molecules. We introduce energy into the system to put the ball onto a higher hill so that when absorbed by your cells, it can release its energy and donate that energy to the cell. So these are tiny, high energy molecules. Because they are tiny, they can be absorbed into the cell. What do we mean by absorbed into the cell? Well, because these molecules are so tiny, they can pass straight through the cell membrane and into the cell. So here you have on the top, outside the cell, and then on the bottom is inside the cell. Because these molecules are so tiny, they don't need permission to enter the cell. They can pass freely through the cell membrane where they can go straight to work. Now, these tiny high energy molecules are absorbed into the cell because they are so tiny. Once absorbed, they act like an on-off switch. So what happens here is the redox signaling molecule is absorbed into the cell. Once that happens, it donates its energy, turning on cell signaling. That cell begins to signal to the cells around it. Those cells signal to the cells around them, beginning what we call the cascade or domino effect. And you'll be able to see here in the image that cascade or domino effect spreads throughout the entire cellular network of the body. And so that's the cascade or domino effect. It's this concept where once a cell begins to signal, it signals to the cells around it. Those cells signal to the cells around them. And that's how the message or those signals, that communication, that cellular communication, happens throughout the body through the cascade or domino effect. And it's this cascade or domino effect, right? Tiny molecules are absorbed. They act like an on-off switch. That on-off switch begins the cascade or domino effect. And that cascade or domino effect contributes to our resilience to stress and overall wellness. Your body's ability to respond to stress is one of the most important attributes that you have to maintain your health and wellness.